There are times when I think about my childhood days in Jamaica. I can remember not having enough food to eat. If you know the vegetable chocho, that's what we will get as the meat for our meals, like literally every day. I remember waking up very early to catch the bus to go to school, and those mornings it was so dark and so cold. I remember not having enough clothes, few clothes, and in my family, the clothes passed down, and I was fourth to last, six of us. So by the time it reaches me, the clothes reaches me, they are worn out. I remember being ashamed of the food or the lunch that I take to school. My mom gave me fried dumpling every day, like literally every day. At one point, I stopped taking out my lunch because it wasn't looking like my friends. And being so young, I didn't understand why life was so hard. But looking back, I don't see struggle. It builds the strength in me. I see a mother did all she could with what she had. I see God place people in our lives to teach us and also to help us make it through. I remember our neighbor, one day he was making breakfast for his kids, and I went over there, and my mom, her policy was don't ask, even if you're hungry, say thank you, because our food, it wasn't fancy, but it was filling. And he was making breakfast and he said, Alicia, would you like some? And I saw it and it looked so good. Being a child, of course, I said yes. And I tried it. And I was like, oh my God. Of course, I didn't speak like that. I said, my God. This tastes so good. And he laughed and he said, don't you know what it is? And I said, no. Because me definitely never know what it was. And he said, it's bacon. Mark you, I was in about 7th grade or so, and that's the first time I was introduced to bacon. And he said, do you want more? Of course I said yes, because it was so good. May his soul rest in peace, Mr. Webster. But we have to give God thanks, you know. And for those seasons, those difficult seasons, even though it wasn't difficult to me, it was more difficult for my mom and my dad. But for those difficult seasons, it's just taught me to appreciate every little things. Yeah, I appreciate the friendship that I have. I appreciate every blessings, every opportunities. Yeah. Because that little girl that was afraid to take out her lunch and found it difficult to fit in because her friends had more fancy food, fancy clothes, didn't envision herself to be living the life she's living today. And that little girl is me. So if you're going through a difficult season, don't give up. Yes, I know easier said than done. We always say, but trust me, don't give up. Don't give up. You're going to take one day and look back on those moments and said, that actually wasn't the end of my story. It was preparing me for a bigger chapter, or a new chapter. So that's just my word of encouragement today. Never give up, because you're going to look back and say, oh my God, I have made it. Bye for now.